Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Hani Iqbal bin Marali, and today I would like to start our presentation with introduction. IBS is a building method in which all the components, including the wall, slab, beam, columns, and staircase, are made in a controlled environment. The components are prefabricated at a factory before being assembled on site or in a factory under stringent quality supervisions. Formwork and beams system transfer load through beams and girders to the column and to the ground, and the hardware components have three separate processes. In this study, we'll show the IBS system comply in Hospital Kuala Lumpur Central Park building. For the next part, I will talk about the background of the study. Hospital Kuala Lumpur Central Park is located at Jalan Pahan, Wilayah Persekutuan Kuala Lumpur. This building was completed on 2015, which from the construction period from October 30, 2014 until October 29, 2015. This project was built by Teraju Construction Sendirian Berhad and also known the leading installer of concrete product in form of Precast, which is Industrialized Building System, IBS, in Malaysia. 70% of IBS component need to done to complete this project, which cost more than 10 millions. The purpose is to achieve the efficiency in building for future industry. This building consists 7 levels of car park to accommodate more than 4,000 vehicles in order to solve a problem due lack of space for parking lot. For the next slide is the element that has been used in this building. The first element that has been used in this building is the precast concrete beam. The function is to carry the parapet walls and load transfer from the slab. The dimension used is 600 mm times by 600 mm height. The second element is the precast concrete column. The manufacture of this is to order to control the strength and quality of product with dimension 600 mm times by 600 mm based on the MS 1064, part 10. The last element is the hollow core slab. As the main component of this case study, which has slab piece by piece, included core inside as function as slab or for pipelines purpose.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Solin. I will cover the concept and framework of the building. First is precast concrete slab. The precast concrete slab is used in these buildings manufactured in the factory before it installed at the buildings. And the material used in the slab is reinforced concrete, and this method is considered cost friendly, usually used for floor panels and roof deck panels. The use of slab in this building for few reasons, which is simple, quick quality and lightweight. There are few types of precast concrete slab. As you can see from this figure, is solid flat slab, hollow core slab, double T and single T. For the proposed case study, use the hollow core slab. The hollow core slab is known as a void slab at a building, and it forms a precast slab of precast concrete that usually used for construction floor for high-rise buildings. And the main purpose of void is to reduce the weight, cost and hide the electrical. The second is precast concrete column. The column is a vertical structure that used in the buildings to sustain a load from the slab to the substructure. In this building, the IBS has various size and shape based on design. For the single-story building, usually use 2.5 meter to 50 meter height, and the beam will be placed on the top of the column and connected with dowel between them. And this building is multi-story buildings, and the types of connection can be used such as the edge column, internal column and corner column. For the proposed case study, they use the cobble column, as we can see from this figure, which is for single-story column and multi-story column. Okay, in this case study, the component used is cobble column because the cobble is allowed the column to maintain and bear the load of structure and transfer it to cobble, then core of the column. Okay, the third is precast concrete beam. The beam is horizontal structure which attach at the top of the column and will be transfer load from wall or slab to the column, and the hollow core slab is usually used to support a long span building. View the bearing seating is better for the slab. It is also used edge to form the precast flooring to sit on and usually manufactured at the factory. There are few categories which internal beam where the load of floor and symmetrical, and external beam where the load of floor is opposite. For the proposed case study, they use the L-shaped beam, usually used to span the clear section and are reinforced by stress. And the reason use of these types of beam due to easy to assemble and faster construction process will do, as we can see from this picture.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Nur Afika Fazana. My student ID number is 2029911143. For the precast concrete wall will provide two functions, which is to stabilize the building structure and provide closed space. Other than that, it will form box surrounding of staircases and lift shaft. There are a few precast panels which are curtain and cladding wall, load-bearing wall and shear wall. For this case study, the client chose curtain and cladding wall. The purposes use curtain and cladding wall due to provide aesthetic value for wall building, low maintenance cost and require and safe space on the building. Other than that, the precast concrete staircase, the purpose of this case study using precast concrete staircase due to provide fast construction compared to the in situ method. The end product more durable and less maintenance. It also used for high quality buildings such as private and residential stairway may give an excellent in acoustic properties due its denser compared to other materials such as steel and timber. In this case study, the building used scissor staircase due to it might designed to suit the whole building, designed it more economical, so may cut the cost. The design of staircase as follow. For the prefabricated roof trusses, truss is made of steel or aluminium that usually used as roof structure. Usually is a triangle and arc shape, and it functions to support the load of roof covering and all the member of place under tension and prevent from bend. In this case study, the types of truss used is king post roof truss, where the bottom chord acts as a tie beam attached at the end of the rafter. The purpose is to prevent wall from spreading out because of truss. To prevent from sagging of the tie beam, at the center of king post is used. Ridge beam is provide support on the common rafter. The reason used for these types of roof truss is to reduce the weight of building and consider faster also easy construction method. In terms of advantages, the truss is made of steel that has high fire resistance, and durability of steel can make last as long the house. Last but not least, for the prefabricated bathroom board. Bathroom board defined as prefabricated bathroom which can be delivered ready for installation. The use for plug and play concept is used in installation, which meant for the fast pace for construction industry. It consists of plumbing, rooftop panel, electrical component, interior walls, waterproof wall board and floor tiles. The plumbing and electrical components are integrated for the final hookup. Interior walls, on the other hand, are completely finished and also clean. Besides, waterproof wall board is moisture-resistant wall board that is glued and screwed to the framing of the wall.
Okay, hello, my name is Muhammad Sada. Okay, for my part, I will talk about the schedule of modular components that include in this project. Okay, generally, in HKL, there are six main components of IBS that use, which is steel roof, windows, slab, columns, doors, and stairs. Okay, for the prefabricated lightweight steel roof, which is the first component, this is a roof trusses of IBS, which is a type of prefabricated trusses and comes in three different types, which are differentiated by the measurement itself. Okay, now this type are labeled as trusses 1, trusses 2, and trusses 3 as seen in the picture. Trusses 1 and trusses 2 made up into four components, while trusses 3 include into 10 components of the roof trusses. Okay, the next is prefabricated windows. In the in this project, there are three types of windows that use as labeled as Windows 1, Windows 2, and Windows 3. Windows 3 is the most commonly used, made up into 24 quantities, while others range from 12 to 6 as seen in the picture. These windows also made into type of prefabricated windows, which is made at the factory before shipping into the site and installation process begins. Okay, the next component is precast hollow core concrete slab. This slab have 8 different measurements, which labeled by slab 1 until slab 8. The most commonly slab used in this project is slab 5, which is about 72 quantities and have a measurement about 1000 times by 300 and 3000. Meanwhile, the smallest slab used in this project is slab number 4, which have a measurement about 1000 times by 1800 and only sum up about 18 quantities of the total quantity of slab. All of these slabs are made by using the same system, which is precast concrete system, where the manufacturer can pour the concrete into the existing mold, which come in different size, so they can make easily replicate the slab that they make. Next component is about precast concrete columns. As in the slab, precast concrete columns also use a precast concrete system. However, there are only 6 types of different measurement of columns that use, ranging from columns 1 to column 6. The most commonly used column is column number 2, which have about 56 of the total quantities. Okay, the next is prefabricated doors. There are 4 types of doors that used in this project. 3 of them is a single door, while another one is a sliding door. These doors are made by categorized as prefabricated door, which is they are made in the factory and assembled at the site. The last component is precast concrete staircase. This for this building, the only ones that include, so therefore there are only one component of staircase in this schedule of components. This staircase measurement as set in the plan was 3200 times by 2400 millimeters, and is made by using a precast concrete system, which means that it is molded and made at the site and then assembled at the project.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Shazwan Zulkifli. So I'm going to present to you about the construction details. So the first one is a construction sequence of slab, beam and column. So what we need to do is a in situ foundation, ground beam and ground floor slab preparation and construction. Second one is we need to concrete stump reinforcement and starting bars are ready to attach to precast columns. Precast columns must be popped in 2 directions for proper alignment. And then we need to place the precast concrete columns and beams in their proper locations during installation. And precast components must be popped. Precast beams to be popped and adjusted to correct level. And then half slabs of precast concrete were installed. During installation, all precast slabs must be popped, placing the top reinforcement beam. And then we need to casting of concrete topping in single operation. And then placing of top reinforcement for slabs. So the next one is a connection detailing of slab, beam and column. Column to footing. On-site assembly of the column and column stump is required. The second one is a bolting connections linked to the column to the footing. The third one is a connection can be termed monolithic in design. So from column to column, first one we need to do is the columns are connected mechanically. Second one is the wall connection is then dry packed with grout to give full bearing. The next one is a beam to column. The first one is a corbel employed to provide fixity to the column at the top of the beam. The second one is the steel angle is welded to metal plate and cast into the beams and column, and the connection is gluted solid. Then next one is the connections with projecting bars in gluted ducts. The connection is most commonly seen in portal frames. The possible to design the column head connection with or without contributions from the floor slabs and tie steel. The slab to beam and slab to slab. The L beam supports the hollow core slab to minimize unexpected restrictions and allow free rotation of the slab.
Hello, my name is Muhammad Haiman Ashraf bin Muhammad Haidi, and now I would like to talk about the construction sequence of precast concrete staircase. And the first is a curving template, mount bed in the design location using a defined template, installation producing crane and finishing platforms. Then trowel cement sand mortar into the reception area platform. Then at four corners, check that the soffit is level and tolerance may be adjusted by lowering or raising the level. Next, continue with number 2. During construction, lower the first flight of stairs before lowering the top. By not hooking mark, the mounting crowbars may be improved. Then lay and unhook the cement sand mortar, mark mounting clearance. Next, we continue with number 3, finishing. For the continuous floors, the same building method is used. After the flight of step has been built, railings are added. Next, we continue with the connection details of precast concrete staircase. First is staircase to floor connection. Number 2, landing to down section. Number 3, landing to wall connection. And number 4, landing to upriser connection. Now I would like to talk about the connection details of king post roof truss. As you can see here, there are a rafter at the top view and the king post, tie beam and the bolts. And the smaller one is roof truss connection. As you can see here, there are built up composite cladding, rafter stay and column stay. Next, we continue with construction sequences of prefabricated bathroom port. First, the completed ports are delivered to the building site by truck. To keep them safe, they are encased in thermal shrink wrap. Next, the crane or forklift vehicle is used to unload the ports. It will be rolled into its ultimate location after being placed on special rollers. Next, rollers are placed on the platform and the port will be slowly positioned on them by the crane. Number 4. It is important that the road is smooth, level and free from any openings such as ducting shafts, so the rollers can run freely along the surface. Number 5. For low interstory height, special rollers will be applied to the sides of the port structure instead of under the base. The next is the smaller ports, on the other hand, may be rolled to their ultimate place using a simply an electric pallet truck and prongs long enough to reach the rear wall and avoiding distortions and damage to the foundation. Number 7, last but not least, conventional hydraulic jacks are used to release the rollers. To avoid any deformation, the surface beneath the port is examined to ensure that it is precisely level. Thank you.
Okay, the next part is about IBS scoring system. In IBS scoring system, there are three main type of calculation, which is structure elements calculation, wall system calculations, and other simplified construction solutions. Okay, for the structure elements, the project use precast concrete beams and columns alongside with precast concrete slabs, which have an IBS factor of 1.0. So therefore, times by the total area, we get about 34 of IBS score for the first element. The next is the roof. The project use roof trusses that made by using prefabricated steel roof, which also have IBS factor of 4.0 times by the total area. We get IBS score for the roof is about 16. Then the total score for such elements is 50 out of 50. Okay, the next calculation is about a wall system. The project use internal and external wall that made by using a precast concrete wall panel, which also have an IBS factor of 1.0. So therefore, times by the total length and the coverage, we get a total of IBS score for the wall system is about 20 out of 20. Okay, next is about other simplified construction solution, which deemed as bonus mark for the IBS scoring. And as the project are unable to fulfill all the requirement for the bonus mark, so therefore they are unable to get a full bonus mark. Therefore, the only bonus mark they get in the project, first, uh, utilization of standardized component that based on MS 1604, which 50% of the door follow the size as stated in MS 1064 part 4, while 100% of the windows follows as stated and in MS 1604 part 5. So as the coverage were 50% and 100% each, therefore it get IBS score of 2 and 4 each. On the other part, the building also have a vertical repetition of structure of that coverage of 100%. Therefore, they are eligible to get another 2 bonus mark. Therefore, total bonus mark for the project is 8 marks out of 30. So the total of IBS scoring by total up the part 1, part 2, and part 3, the building of HKL total have a total IBS scoring of 78 out of 100, which is good. As stated before, IBS scoring system is implemented to measure the consistency of IBS component used in a project. By the regulation comes by the from the CIDB. CIDB state that government project must have a minimum of 70% of IBS scoring. As the project has achieved 78 points, which is above the minimum of IBS scoring, therefore, it can be concluded that the project has accomplished the target lined up by the government successfully.
As a conclusion, this project has given us a better understanding of the precast concrete IBS system and the prefabricated lightweight steel system, all of which are constructed in a controlled environment. Furthermore, the model making process taught us how to assemble the model on site, which was similar to the actual construction. They also gave us a better grasp of how to various components fit together. Finally, IBS is a system that can help to improve building sustainability. It lowered the cost, the time it takes to construct the structure, and the overall cost, as well as the number of employees required. Thank you for watching.